Man, this is really encouraging. There's like news every day now. Wait, why is Don Cherry trending on social? Oh, it's political stuff. Just pretend like I didn't say anything. But training camp has officially started, and they did a little media circuit today with the Montreal Canadiens. Probably the most interesting thing that happened today was an interview with Martin St. Louis. But they also shared a lot of great media on socials. So I'm going to share that with you. Let's talk about it.
Just the one call thus.
So training camp is officially started. They've got quite the schedule. Today was medicals, fitness training, and media availability. Then they go into the training portion where every day 3 teams are on the ice. 1 team practices and 2 of the other teams face off against each other in little scrimmages. And they rotate and they rotate. Then finally on the 21st, they will do some on-ice sessions. And then the very next day, there's a morning skate. Guess what? The 22nd, preseason starts, and they'll be playing against the Pittsburgh Penguins. That game is taking place at the Bell Center. And in case you're wondering, it will be available on TSN2. I'm sure it'll also be available on the French networks. But man, preseason is officially starting on Saturday, September 20th. Blues and the Stars are playing. Good luck finding a broadcast for that, however.
The life of a pirate for me.
September the 21st, the Leafs and Senators will be playing, and that's available on Sportsnet 1. I didn't really expect to go off on a tangent about broadcasting, but it might be helpful for some of you. I don't know. I'm just excited. I'm also excited to see how well the channel's been doing now that we're kind of ramping up and getting back into the swing of things. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate all of you. I do these videos in the volume that I do them because I see how successful and how fun and engaging this whole process is. So thank you for your encouragement. Thank you for your support. I can't do this without you. I really can't. So if you're not already subscribed, consider it. And if you are subscribed, hit the like button. It helps me out with, I don't know. YouTube tells me that it helps me out. So they shared a bunch of really neat photos from today's events. There's a few comical videos. I'm going to throw one up. Let's throw this one up.
I will try. Like, even if it shows up, I will try.
All right. I'm not coming.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's been hating.
There's no Ubers out there.
Dude, I'll pick you up. Pick you up, feed you, and drop you off.
That's a nice thing. And make a real fantasy trip.
That too. I haven't had chicken marsala in a while.
Yeah, so you don't know how to make it.
I will improvise.
And what kind of pasta are you talking?
Whatever you want.
You don't want a nice spicy vodka rigatoni?
Alright, spicy vodka rigatoni. What drink?
I'm good with water.
Water? Alright.
Yeah, like
salad? Caesar salad?
I'll do a Caesar salad.
Fried calamari?
Wow. No chance you can do that.
Dude, I just
Can't
put it
believe
in
you.
air fryer.
And it was really neat to see the band getting back together. But the real interesting part, I feel, today brought us was Martin St. Louis' interview this morning, where he talked pretty candidly about the team and what he saw in the future. It definitely feels like things are different this season. There's more powerful statements being said, such as this one. The shitty hockey is over. It's got to start now. The decisions you make with the puck through the neutral zone has got to start now. How your alarm goes off from offense to defense has got to start now. The way we play in our D zone has got to start now. There's got to be urgency. It's now. There's a sentiment that, you know, last year was huge. It was a huge benchmark in the development of the Montreal Canadiens. It signaled that the rebuild, well, maybe the rebuild isn't technically over, but they're moving between the rebuild and that transitional phase into being the window is open for the playoffs, and we're going to continue into that era. And to me, the foundation is there. Everything is right. This is a young team, and they've sewn up a lot of the guys for a good long while at bargain prices, considering that the salary cap is going up. But let's talk a little bit more about what Martin St. Louis said, and let's get more into specifics. He was asked the question, 3 of the top 5 guys for the penalty kill no longer with the team. David Savard, Christian Dvorak, Joel Armia. What does that mean? Who's going to step up to the plate? What's going to happen there? St. Louis said that Suzuki might be seeing more time on the penalty kill. In my mind, that makes sense. That clicks. What's going to probably happen is you won't see Suzuki doing double shifts the power play anymore. The hope there is that somebody will take that role and allow Nick Suzuki to do a more specialized role, personally, in my opinion, that I think that he could fulfill on the penalty kill. Another journalist asked, how about Alex Newhook? And this has been brought up. I think a lot of people have noticed that Newhook does have a lot of two-way sensibilities. He might not always get the opportunity to demonstrate those skills, but he's a fast skater, and when a flub happens, he can get back there really quick. And at times, I've seen him make some pretty clutch plays. He knows how to set up in the defensive zone. And I think that his strengths are not only in his speed and his strong skating ability, but he is like surprisingly solid. He's not the tallest guy on the team, but he's 5'11", 200 pounds. I would hate to try to tackle this guy. So I do see him come out of the boards with the puck often. I do see him come out of the corners the puck often. And when Martin St. Louis was asked about Newhook, he agreed. He said that, yeah, he's going to get a look at PK time. So again, that's something that makes sense to me. I question who on the defensive pairings is going to work their way into the PK. Is it going to be Dobson? That is a big responsibility, and it's a big component in a player's toolkit. So just thinking about that right now, that's getting me very excited because I really hope we see a success story there. That would be huge. St. Louis also talked about Patrik Laine. It's encouraging stuff that you're hearing it kind of reciprocated by St. Louis, but it's things we've heard from Laine himself, talking about, all his down years, all his summers where he's like recovering from a nagging injury or just not able to train like he really wanted to. He's saying that this is the first time in a long time he was able to do that. And St. Louis is saying that he's on the ice often with his peers. He's loving hockey again. He's loving his experience. And because of that, he's seeing that Laine's potential has just grown and that we might see the best version of Patrik Laine this season. So that's encouraging stuff. I mean, he really needs a big season to sell himself. It's the last year of his contract. He's making $8.7 million. There is a world where that figure makes sense for Patrik Laine. Again, especially because the salary cap is going up. But yeah, if you look at comparables and considering that he's a winger, dude, I was looking at centers as well. He needs to start scratching at like 40 goals. And he was there, last season. He 52 games played, 20 goals. He would have finished with what? I'm not good at math. 30 something goals, right? If he played the full season. And he was injured. It's doable. It's completely doable. Just please don't miss 10 games. I'm saying this for your sake, Patty. So we talked about the shinny hockey comment. We talked about Suzuki, talked about Newhook. We talked about Laine. There was one more thing, and that thing is, it's the most important thing. I shouldn't have forgotten about this, but Kirby Dach will be playing on line 2 as the center. It's as I predicted. He has to lose that job. And as corny as it sounds, I don't find it's corny, but I could see how you could think it's corny. Montreal is a trust organization. They work just like a job. Like if I'm doing my job kind of at meets requirement levels, my boss isn't going to be like, hey, you're fired. And say what you will, given the opportunities that Dach had, you can't give him a very reliable performance review. So to me, he hasn't failed yet. He's getting paid $3.362 million. He only achieved 22 points last season, but he only played 57 games as well, coming off an injury, a big injury. They need to allow him like a good full crack at it. And this has got to be the season. His back is so up against the wall. Maybe a better analogy would be that he's painted himself into a corner. But those injuries aren't his fault. And I've called him a Band-Aid boy in the past, but that's part of it. If you're missing every season because you're injured and you're nearing the end of your contract, then you're evaluated at that point because of your injuries, because of your history. So if he still has gas in the tank to prove himself, gets injured this season and wants to prove himself, he'll probably have to do that somewhere else, and it's going to be with an organization that wants to take the risk, and he'll have to probably take a short-term bridge deal, prove-it contract. I didn't get out what I really wanted to say there, but I'm close enough, and I'm not going to go back and re-edit myself. But essentially with Doc, this is his last chance, and they're not going to bury him on the fourth line to start things out. If he is ice cold, I can't imagine they're going to say, hey, we need to keep him up on line 2. They will make changes at that point, I'm sure, but I have faith. I have faith in him. I've been fooled twice, maybe 3 times, but looking back to the 22-23 season, he had 38 points in 58 games, and he was getting there. I think it's easy to say one last chance and that's it, because there's no choice. Anyway, I can go back and forth on this. I want to know what you think. How does the Patrik Laine, Kirby Dach, Ivan Demidov line fail? Dach and Laine are on the end of their contracts. Ivan Demidov, you've seen that he can create chemistry with just about anyone. He made Florian Xhekaj look like Braden Point. That's another thing I want to talk about. Florian Xhekaj, he really went, you know what? I'm going to do a breakdown of the prospect showdown. I might not even have time to do that. Well, the headline is Florian Xhekaj really impressed me, and I pray that he has a good showing preseason, because he's going to get those opportunities. He's going to get that chance. He caught the twinkle in Jeff Gorton's eye, and we know these Xhekaj characters. They bring a lot of physicality, and I think that is exactly what the team needs. All right, that's going to do it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Do I have anything to sign off on about? Oh, I had an interesting day today. This is kind of embarrassing. Why am I talking about this? My tooth broke. One of my teeth broke. Yeah, it was a tooth with a filling, and I was eating, and I must have chomped down on the filling. It cracked the tooth, so I had to go in. They shaved down my tooth. They filled it in with composite. They froze my face. They had that little Dremel going into your, right into your tooth. And the transaction was complete. I got up. I walked into the reception area, and I felt like I was going to just pass out. It felt funny. It felt, I felt weird. The receptionist thought it was because I just got up too quick. I don't know. That was a weird feeling. I think it might have been a reaction to like all the, what's it called? Lycodene. Anyway, I sat down for a minute, put my head in my hands, and eventually I was good to go. But that was interesting. All right, I'm going to call it a night. Like the video, helps me out with, search results or something. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I would love to have you. And as always, I will see you down in the comments.